You know that bittersweet feeling you get when you finally assess how much you've read of that really good book and realize just how close you are to the end? Or like when you just wake up 5 minutes before you know that alarm goes off. That's where I'm at right now, folks. I'm sure a part of all of us wants to ride down that stretch just a little longer. You know what I'm saying? Just remain in the present and avoid thinking about that buzzing reminder. But hey, we made it this far, so of course we're going to see it to the end. Now, I'll go ahead and spoil it for you guys and gals, where Titty Mike goes off to deliver a two-piece combo to the entire Azlanti star system, with Ziva right behind, dismembering all the deities. Auron in the back, growling as he cauterizes entire planets with his lightsaber. Felino raining hellfire with his Molotov cocktails, creating new stars. And Zeno seizures the universe out of existence. Yep, pretty cool stuff. Probably should get some sort of award. But let's dial it back, like way back, to the beginning. Like the luck of getting a group of like-minded nerds who can keep a schedule. I can't iterate that point enough. We're all a pack of sweet gushers who can go on about that fact alone, but that's not why I'm chewing the mic today. I want to reflect on taking a character, or the story for our beloved GMs, from conception and their growth over the course of an AP. I love hearing about the insane and creative stuff people come up with for their character's backstory, the reason they are presently, their wacky quirks, or the zany NPCs and their voices that every GM unveils to the party and recollects fondly. And that leads me to some questions. So I ask you, our dear listeners, what inspires you? What gets those creative juices flowing? Do you have a sort of personal ritual during this creation process? I'd love to hear about it. Something else I've been thinking about that I'm sure a few GMs have shed a tear or two over when they've encountered a group who aren't aggressive murder hobos, or a group who just seem to click on that RP and really make that story pop with conflict and resolution. My favorite part personally is that character growth. That starry-eyed youth who's traumatized into the shady corner of a tavern. That stalwart paragon of justice brought low by shame or corruption. The ascetic who found understanding and comfort in a close circle of people. Regardless how their roads may differ, character growth turns something basic into something abstract. That's my shit. And I'm sure a few of you have one or more characters that you've run through a campaign who fit that kind of description. What made your characters adjust their perspective, take off those rose-tinted glasses, or put that metaphorical hair on their chest? That moment where your character goes, oh shit, this just got real. Of course, a journey has a goal, a destination. You've gone through the trials, you've achieved some milestones, gained a friend, or lost a friend, my condolences. The dust settles, and you're picking up cues that you're nearing campaign completion. We've come full circle. At this point, you experience the swelling trepidation leading up to that final encounter, the sweet satisfaction of an achievement unlock, and if possible, carrying that hard-earned swag into the next AP. Which AP was that in your group? And if you're between campaigns or facing the hardships of scheduling or finding a group, well, you always have us. As we near the end of this chapter, these are the questions I ask myself and those who listen to our story. Tell us your stories in our Discord. Now, enough reflection. Let's freak out in episode 68, Runeage Daydream.
we were talking before we pushed record about how now everybody is trying to get in the podcast game. You can't get a podcast mic. It's like toilet paper these days. Toilet paper and podcast mics. Everybody's recording from their shitter.
Wiping their ass.
Yeah. But we were here. We've been on this tip. We've been on the communication via, well, not Zoom, but products like Zoom.
Yeah.
We've been like prepping for this for a
we
while.
were prepared uniquely for the onset of the Rona.
I mean, we've gone through the gamut of what do we start with Hangouts, and then found Hangouts, the studio mode, which was great, and then a stint with Jitsi.
Just dropped it for no goddamn reason.
Google
one bad relationship with Jitsi.
Jitsi was
Jitsi.
Skype for a bit, and now Zoom.
And now Zoom. Yeah, I think Zoom so far has been our favorite, but we're not here to
this episode brought to you by
we're not here to promote Zoom.
I mean, unless Zoom want, holler Zoom, whatever.
I mean,
The best part of Zoom that I would go back to Skype if Skype lets you have everybody on screen at once, more than 4 people.
Yeah.
Like, that sucks.
Yeah. Well,
right
the latency
now,
is a little bit better.
The listeners can't really see, but we've all got sweet space themed backgrounds, except for Emily.
I dropped mine for the time being because I have my window open and the backlight does weird shit with the virtual backgrounds. But once it gets dark, I'll throw it on.
Maybe it's just because you've had Corona for a while and you're finally better, and so you want your life to shine behind you.
You guys don't even fucking know, man. Vitamin D is important, and I love it. And sunshine is good for your soul.
Hey, don't let anybody dim your shine, all right?
Hey, man, John.
This little light of mine.
I'm gonna let it shine. Fucking this right, son.
You need to wear shades.
Hallelujah.
With how bright your future is.
Let's go ahead and pivot to Christian radio.
Yes, Lord. Lord.
I mean, I do really love that song. I won't lie. I think that's like a great old traditional song, but we're pivoting. And that's what we do, so I don't care. Listen, I am drinking this cider today that I got specifically for today's session. It's called Newton's Folly, and it's a sour. Or not a sour.
That's clever.
It's a semi-dry cider, and of course, because of the apple and everything, and because we're going to be talking about physics tonight. I felt like it was an appropriate drink for the evening.
Oh, well, we'll see you.
Is that the official pivot?
This is now physics. Physics. Our first guest is Neil deGrasse Tyson. I hope you guys got all your questions prepared.
We're ready to go. Him.
Oh. I was about to say, well, we'll see you because this ain't my bag, but never mind. He's a cool cat.
Oh, man,
the surprise reveal is that Murgablur is actually being played by Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Oh, yes.
I've got so many questions.
What a fantastic casting choice.
Hey, man,
I'm glad we could swing him. He was probably emphatically
as much as I love Neil deGrasse Tyson, he would be insufferable on an episode of Starfinder.
Especially our show, too.
That's not how that works. That's not how that works.
Well, actually, let me tell you a little bit about why that's impossible.
He'd be criticizing not only the things you can do in Starfinder, but us getting everything wrong as well.
Actually, you can't fire a single controlled size laser blast. One continuous beam.
You can't move and do a full action at the same time, Adam. I've told you this over and over again.
Shut up, Neil deGrasse Murgablur.
It's like the one person you don't want to go to the movies and watch like Interstellar with.
Yeah.
Right. Although
or Michael Bayfield.
I do think he had good things to say about
Interstellar. Yeah, I think he did actually.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
That's because that's a good movie.
But he's also the type where it's like he'll look at like the movie Gravity or whatnot, and he'll like look at the stars that were around that date, like those were wrong. That's not how.
Well, there's a lot of things wrong with Gravity more than just star alignment. There's like a lot of physics, impossibilities in that. But it's
like,
an okay movie.
It's still an enjoyable film.
Sandra Bullock, right?
Yeah, Sandra Bullock.
I haven't seen it.
It's okay. I thought it was a little overrated.
Emily,
personally.
you mean to tell me that you haven't seen Gravity?
Oh,
Bruh,
wow.
are you
I would have
even?
never
What a-
guessed.
Oh, you're being facetious.
No, there's something about like that type of movie that just does not like. I don't want to watch it because I know it's something like it's going to be really bad, and the idea of being like lost in space, untethered from your station or ship or whatever.
I will say I used
terrifying.
I used that movie for a lot of inspiration in Xeno's flashback where he got untethered from his ship.
That was terrifying too.
Bruh.
Because
Martian? The Martian? Is that?
What?
The Martian is a sci-fi film. Yeah.
Yeah.
it's one of
That
them.
movie freaked me out a lot, and that's the concept that gives me the skeeves. Space is scary as fuck, y'all.
I agree.
Yeah.
But it's
That's
cool
one
to
of
see.
the best like
It
sci-fi
is.
films
The Martian
that
is
come
great.
out recently.
Yeah. I love to see a plucky hero, put together resources and MacGyver their way out of impossible situations.
Yeah.
I still need to watch that one too.
I'm going to tell
That
you
was
right
good.
now.
I liked it.
Right now, all of you, just advice for the future of your Starfinder adventure. If Matt Damon is ever an NPC in here, and that's the casting choice, no, don't go with him. Don't go with him. Only bad shit happens to Matt Damon in space.
Damon.
I mean, he like got stranded on a planet away from his home in Interstellar and The Martian.
How do you like them apples?
Oh god.
Sorry.
Yeah, but he'd have
Wipe
like
it.
max survivability though.
Adam, please leave that shit to the professionals.
You're right. I'll run the show. You tell the bad jokes. My bad. My bad.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got
Okay. Well, let's play some Starfinder. The last couple of episodes I've talked about being a little nervous or a little anxious about the end. And while I still want to make sure we land this, I've prepped myself. I feel good about it. We are so close to wrapping up this part of our tale, and I couldn't be more happy to do it with the five of y'all. And I can't wait to see what you do with these last few episodes. So let's fucking dig in.
All right. Cheers, man.
Cheers indeed.
Drink to that.
Wait, what's happening?
Yeah. So we last ended with you saving the scientist. Among them, of course, is Mike's dad, Rupert. And Evandrian just turned off his death trap and just went radio silent. So you have no idea where he is, what he's doing, but he turned off this trap after some good diplomacy from your captain. So that's where we are. What are we going to do?
Well, I mean, we left off, in the middle of the beginning of a conversation, I think.
Yeah, Papa Gama-san.
Yeah, that's what he called him when he was 8 years old.
So sweet.
There's no way 8-year-old Mike could pronounce that right.
I definitely could. He had scientists for parents.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
8-year-old Mike with the.
It's the only reason that 8-year-old Mike can talk now is because he had good.
Yeah, he had like a 15 intelligence score at 8 years old, and it just gradually went down. He was like with the Cockney gang. Yeah,
Now it's 10.
Just getting punched in the face for years and years and years, getting all those traumatic brain injuries,
Yeah. So we are there in the midst of the beginning of that conversation, and you walk up to your father, who you haven't seen in 40 years?
39, but yeah.
Yeah, roughly 40. And you say, Papa Gama-san? That's what you say?
Papa Gama-san.
Yeah. He kind of looks at you. His eyebrows kind of furrow a little bit, and he's like, no. Can't be. Why? Where did you hear that term?
I made it up.
You made it up.
Yeah, when I was probably 5 years old on Najin Korazias.
His eyes widen. On Najin Korazias. Michael?
That's right.
But And he like looks around to the rest of the scientists in there. He looks kind of past you over your shoulder to some of the people behind you. And he says, how can you be here?
Well,
my son, what? And he's just like overwhelmed.
Yeah, I put a hand on his shoulder and say, look, it's quite a lot for me as well. And I know it seems quite unlikely, but it's the truth. I'm Michael Rupert Agamason. I'm your son.
This whole time, I thought you were dead. Or worse.
To be fair, I quite thought the same about you.
Why are you here? How did you come to be here? This seems so improbable.
Well, that's quite a long story, but essentially it has to do with that Rune Drive you were working on.
Michael, I'm sorry. And he just hangs his head down.
And I give him the hug I've been waiting for 40 years.
He's a little timid at first. It's as if he can't believe that this is actually happening.
I mean, same.
And the rest of you see two Vesk, one that you've known for quite some time and come to love, burly, strong, in full armor, wrapping his meaty arms around another Vesk. This one, frail in his old age, but still a determined look about him, embracing. As you see Mike hug his father for the first time in 40 years.
Those are not words.
That's like one of the scientists in the corner. That's Becky. Becky in the corner.
It's just like...
Listen, I can't wait to hear the story of how this is even possible. But there is a operative on the loose, and I can't help but think that Zolan will be here any moment. It is time to strike. It is time for us to pull the trigger on our insurrection. And we need to get the fuck off of this rock.
Pops, I couldn't agree more. What? But what's... Alright, first of all, I need to unchain all you folks, right?
So, quick question.
Yes! Becky says.
Shh, calm down, Becky. So we unlocked the door from the console with the pass, is the multi-pass?
Yeah, Michael's in the main chamber. Mm-hmm.
So Ziva's still at the little console thing. Is there anything that just like unlock prisoner shackle button?
No, they're all like...
Oh, the electrodes.
Well, they all are like individual manacles. You know what I mean?
Okay,
So it wouldn't be the function of this device to have people chained up to it. You know what I mean? So this was obviously done by Evandrian, and so they're all like just individually chained to the machine.
Ziva would have kind of been like standing up at the console, sort of watching the exchange, and once they had their moment and it looks like they're ready to start moving, she would kind of like give Fel and Zeno the come on tactical nod, and we can go in and start unchaining people and getting this show on the road.
Yeah, I'll just hand wave that. There are checks involved, but you know, with you know, you guys can do it. So there's no pressure involved. right now. So you and let's say you and Fel, because he's got a strong engineering.
I can engineer.
Yeah, but you're talking to your dad.
Well, he kind of cut me off. Said, "Let's get the fuck out of here."
Well, that's just what he said to you. But in the meanwhile, I would say Fel and Ziva are probably, unshackling all the science. Yeah, I assume you're probably unshackling your father's chains.
Yeah, for sure. And I feel like I'd kind of be just giving him the quick and dirty as I'm doing it. Like, all right, this is this person, this is Fel, this is whatever. These are all my people, and we got hired by a lady named Sedona to come get the Rune Drive, yada yada.
He says it's a pleasure to meet all of you, but then he looks back at you, Michael, and he says, I can't help but feel like I'm actually meeting you for the first time too.
Yeah, well, we didn't get much time together, but once I found out you might be here, that's why it was a quite high priority for me to find you and free you.
And he does that thing where he grabs each of your shoulders, and he kind of grabs you firmly, and he looks at into your eyes and up and down your face, and he says, "You look so much like your mother. It's
was an unfortunate lady."
she was a fighter. No, but I mean, that's fine. I can favor my mom.
Well, yeah, he's just, that was his wife that was murdered in front of you and in front of him. And he hasn't had a picture of her, hasn't been able to see anything of her since that moment that the Azlanti came and take over. So here is his child with her, and he sees her in you, and it's like a kind of a moment for that too.
Well, after all this time, the sad part is I can't even remember what she looks like.
Well, imagine if you were prettier.
Alright, this is getting fucking weird.
Likes him.
Yeah, so what are you doing, Zeno?
I'd imagine Zeno is actually going, looking through a console that's right in front of the container, trying to see if there's any research that can be.
Yeah, so you were, of course, able to download the appropriate information to the control harness datapad, or at least kind of send it over to, because I think Fel has the datapad, but you're able to send it over to him. What about you, Oren? What are you doing?
I suppose Oren would probably help unshackle people. I mean, he'd stop and...
Just holding all the scientists at gunpoint. Like, don't you make a move.
Yeah, I was gonna say, he would probably be like, "Hey, Pops, any of these ones loyalists?" And look around at all of them.
Yeah, he says, they all are.
Oh,
no,
really?
no, I'm sorry. I thought you meant loyal to him in his...
No, it's like, don't unchain any of them.
Fuck all these guys.
Chain it back up. Chain it
Let's
back
see,
up.
1, 2, 3. How many bullets am I gonna need?
Everyone roll initiative.
No, these are all scientists that are not Azlanti and are part of the rebellion, or at least looking to Rupert and Murgabar for rebellion.
Okay. And then in that case, Oren will help unshackle them.
Yeah, I mean, and meanwhile, you've got this kind of gently glowing polyhedron in the center of the room, so where he's turned off, like, the surging energy, the polyhedron itself is still kind of glowing.
Yeah, I think I would, while they're unshackling everybody, and I'm kind of catching up with my dad, I guess, be like, hey, is there anything you can do about that? And I, point over my shoulder at the glowing D20.
Well, I would certainly not attempt to destroy it. I don't know how unstable it may be. But from our studies here, I do think that there is a crystal in the center of this that might be worth some value. But it's beyond my means to access it. It would need somebody with connections to the beyond.
Are we talking
Zeke will
about
kind of look
mystically,
over his shoulder like,
or-
Zeno.
Yeah, everybody turns and looks at Zeno.
Yeah.
Basically, it's going to require a mysticism check.
Yeah, mystically. Yeah.
And then passed him to Oren.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
And Oren's like, wait, what? What? So y'all talking about me?
I
Yeah.
think they mean you.
Yeah, Starboy, we need you to look into the woobly woos or some shit to...
He has a seizure and a flashback.
Oh, God.
Oh my god.
Right.
I was going to say, yeah, where is Sedona? Could she assist with this?
Oh yeah, dude. If Oren and Zoka like
totally.
put our hands up on either
Yeah,
side of it.
I'll have her roll for aid. And I like that flavor of the two of you just kind of like touching this thing. I do not aid with a natural
Not
one.
aid.
Natural.
Oh
Sedona,
my
you
God.
worthless. Does a 30
oughta be.
total get it?
Yeah, 30's gonna get it.
30
And
gets it?
So, Sedona, I mean, just her being next to you emboldens you. You know, having your Jedi
Yeah.
Master basically next to you for what it's worth, for lack of a better term.
Sure.
And you put your hand up against it, and you can see the crystal start to shake in the middle of this polyhedron. And it starts gently floating through the polyhedron towards your hand. And when it
Okay.
touches your hand, you're able to actually extract it from the polyhedron. And you have
Oh, this is weird.
a Resonant Larynx augmentation. Now you'll have to wait till you can get it installed because you have
sure.
to. But what it does is it's a small resonating crystal that you put in your throat that can amplify your voice to deafening levels. As a standard action, you can activate the larynx to unleash an ear-piercing shriek in a 30-foot cone that doesn't harm you. Each creature in the area, so this would include your allies, so be careful with that, must attempt a Fortitude Save. That would be a DC equal to 10 plus half your level plus your Constitution modifier. On a failure, the creature takes 5d6 sonic damage and is deafened for 2d4 rounds. If a creature succeeds at the saving throw, it takes half damage and is only deafened for 1 round. Once you've used this, you can't use it again until you've taken a 10-minute rest that would allow you to regain stamina points. However, you can always spend 1 resolve point at any time to recharge the augmentation immediately.
Wow.
I don't know. I mean, if one of y'all
Fells about it.
wants that, like you can
pretty
you
cool.
can like roll for it because I honestly
We can
Don't
have
really
us a
want that.
roll off.
Fell
Yeah.
really
Fells
wants
about it. Who else wants it?
I don't think Ziva could do it. She's already got
You've
something.
got a throat. Yeah, you've already
Yeah.
got a throat.
Dude, I'm
I'm
about
good.
it. That's a fucking battle cry.
that's
I was
a
gonna
roar.
say-
That's a
Yeah.
deafening roar.
And
Yeah.
having somebody who's going to be front line with it would be really cool.
Exactly. That's what it matters is front line.
So it looks like it's a roll off between Fel and Mike.
Oh, I bet you got it because I only got a 6.
Ooh.
I win with a 9.
Oh, damn it.
Oh man! All right, so go ahead and drop that in your character
Yeah.
sheet.
What was it called?
A Resonant Larynx.
Larynx.
Larynx?
Larynx.
Why is it not larynx?
It's Larynx.
I know, but like a larynx is like in your throat.
I don't know, Josh.
They're just trying to be edgy in sci-fi.
Yeah, it's space. It's a space larynx.
It's an ancient word that
Space
has been
spelling.
bastardized. You know.
Larynx.
Larynx. It's the Southern Tomfoolery version of it.
It's
called
actually-
Larynx.
It's actually named after the inventor, Stephen Larynx. So, funnily enough.
Oh wow! You know what? That was good. I'm gonna give you an inspiration. Ziva. Yep.
Cool. I'm gonna take it.
Man, she gonna get this personal watcher.
She's out of personals. Doesn't
I'm
matter.
out of personals.
Listeners, send more personals to Ziva.
All right. Okay. Got a Veriduxpiration.
Oh, another Veriduxpiration.
Yes.
All right.
Oh, this one's awesome. Thank you, Matthew from Palm Coast, Florida. It says, happy belated birthday to everyone.
Oh,
makes me very
thanks,
happy.
man.
Thanks, Veridux, for that
Veridux.
lovely inspiration.
And thank
Fel,
you,
just because
Adam.
you're welcome. Fel, just because you look so empty there, on you have no cards. I'm just gonna give you a pity inspiration.
Really? You know what? I'll take it.
Yeah, I was about to say, dude.
Yeah,
don't-
you take that shit.
Don't you look that gift
No.
horse in that mouth.
Yeah, exactly.
No pride. Let's see. BK Inspiration. Or BK Inspiration.
Hey, BK.
Brandon from Frederick, Maryland says, just wanted to say what up to my favorite intergalactic crew this side of the Drift Rock. In Sedona we trust.
That's true, though.
Yeah,
That is
thank
true.
you,
Nice.
Brandon.
But for real though, it's a double.
Yeah, so long as she's not seasoned.
Let's just say trust to have a damn seizure.
Yeah.
All right. So you have the data that you need from here. These scientists are, Rupert says to you,
I mean, I look to you and your friends that you've brought here, and this is the time. I mean, I wish we had more to offer to help with the fight, but we're ready to go. And I imagine you're here in a ship.
Indeed.
Can it fit us?
Adam, can it?
oh,
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
plenty
Yeah.
of space.
I was like,
Absolutely.
well, that's
Yeah.
a lot of scientists.
Yeah,
No,
but you have like
Tracer's
so many
big,
guest
though.
quarters.
I
Yeah.
was gonna say,
Yeah.
in worst case scenario, we'll put them bitches in the cargo hole.
And well, or the gym.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's a big ass ship.
Yeah, there's
Right.
So
plenty
you
of
were like, here, you stay in here and do some push-ups. You're all very scrawny.
Yeah. Yeah, we definitely have room for all of you on Epic Tracer.
Well, I think that we need to return to our dormitories to collect some of our personal effects and a few of our homemade bombs and items so we can help against the fight.
Wait, so I thought the plan was just to go to the ship. You gonna fight?
Well, we need to go get Murgleberg.
Murgleburger.
Got it, nailed it. And Ziva says that out loud, like, because I don't know, have we mentioned
As well as area.
Murgleberg as of
Where
yet?
I thought Murgleburger.
Murgleburger?
Burgle Burger.
Yeah. See what I'm saying?
I thought Murgleburger was. I've always had trouble with that name. I thought that she was locked up.
We got her out.
You've been busy, my boy.
Indeed.
All right. Well, yes, we definitely need to go get her. She's been instrumental in this resistance. However, I know she won't want to leave until she's figured out the Rune Drive. She can never leave a puzzle unsolved, that one.
Well, she may have to leave this one unsolved if we're to get everyone off of this rock safely. And since we found out that the Rune Drive's basically a giant Azlanti tracking beacon, think it's leaning to we're gonna have to destroy that thing.
You certainly can't leave it here for them.
No.
Agreed.
We should at least take it on the ship.
No, then they'll track us to the ends of the
Only when
fucking-
it's
No,
used.
we
So
don't
reminder,
activate it.
yeah, it only pings
Only when it's
it's
activated.
activated. Yeah.
Ziva's kind of like sort of looking back and forth, just, well, let's make our way. Let's keep going.
I love that we're back to square one on the destroy it or save it
Yeah,
spectrum.
that's been a running. That's
I'm
been a running
just letting you
gag
know. I
throughout
mean,
the whole
it's
thing.
not happening.
I basically, Rupert will acquiesce to Ziva and think that it makes the most sense to go talk to Merkelberg first, because you got to go there anyway
Yeah.
to see what they might have to say about it.
And as they're kind of like walking out, filing everybody out, Ziva will kind of look to Rupert and Michael and just kind of like, I don't know where this specialist, this Evandrian, has gone to, but We were able to talk him down, so perhaps we may be able to get out of this without coming to blows with him. If we play our cards right.
I don't think he was quite happy with our boy Zolon after what you told him.
I don't think anybody's very happy with Zolon at this point.
Yeah, we agree. Fuck Zolon.
Yes, fuck that guy. He's kind of a dick. Okay, right. Yeah, but we got the data, we got the crystal, we've got Rupert.
Yeah,
I
turned to Dad, I guess, and put a hand on his shoulder, and I'm like, look, I know we've already done a lot here, but please be careful. I don't want to lose you 10 minutes after I found you after 40 years. You get what I'm saying?
I mean, yeah, you be careful too. You're going to be on the front lines.
Oh, don't worry about me.
And he kind of hugs you again, and then he starts, like, really leading the scientists. He's like,
all right, Mark, Becky, Cindy, it's time to go. Get up. Let's do this.
I love it. Just keep going, Adam. Tanya.
Yeah.
Mark,
Charles.
Cindy, and the 5 other unnamed ones.
Yeah. Alexandria.
Steve
very
Larynx.
particular.
Steve Larynx, I don't need you to choke now.
Larynx, you're here?
Larynx. Oh my
I can't believe you gave away my stone.
I really must shake your hand. The Steve Larynx? Oh my goodness.
The Steve Larynx?
I think that probably on our way back to the dorms, Oren will sit in the back. He'll probably ask Fel to guard the rear with him, in terms of marching order, if that matters.
okay.
Yeah.
And Ziva would
Fel, watch my ass. You don't have to ask me to
would
do that
like
for
to
you,
stay
buddy.
next to Rupert. Like, I assume that he's kind of like at the head of the scientists, and the scientists are at the back, so he's kind of in the middle of the group, essentially.
Yeah, the scientists are certainly going to be in the middle with some of you guarding the back and some of you in front.
Ziva's basically trying to, she knows Mike has to be up front, so she wants to stay as close to Rupert as possible.
Likewise.
So am I just leading this motherfucker by myself?
I mean, Fel's in the rear, so.
Be up there.
No, I'm in the back.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Oren's in the
Somebody
back.
needs
Fel's
to be
in
up
the
there.
I'll
back.
go up in the front. I'll walk with Mike.
Yeah, I think
APA?
Mike's gotten
the APA.
Yeah, I think Mike's gotten used to having Aaron like side by side with him, like looking for threats and stuff. So he's kind of like, what's going? Oh, hey,
What are you doing?
How's it been going? We haven't really talked
positions.
much
Yeah.
lately. How are things?
Yeah, I mean, honestly,
I mean, yeah, if there's any conversation you want to have on this long walk, it's kind of a whole rigmarole to get back to the dormitories because you got to go up and then back down and all that. So if there is anything,
Don't we have
you
to
guys wanna
go
say-
4 at a time in the elevator though?
It's going to take a little while to get everybody up there. Yeah, that's for sure. Mm-hmm. So that's what I'm
So,
saying.
like-
There is certainly time for conversations
Right,
between
right.
Fel and Oren or Mike and Zeno. I mean,
Well,
I feel like it's still like we're in tactical, mode for
Right.
sure. So, but it's like, how you doing, good buddy?
well,
While he's like sweeping the hall,
yeah. It appears we've adjusted our formations, but it's good to be up here with you.
Oh yeah, good to have the APA back together again.
That's right. How do you feel about your father? It's good to see him, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a lot to process, to be honest. But yeah, I'm quite pleased we could get to him. And if we can prevent him from, getting himself killed before we can get him to the ship, it would mean a lot.
Well, I feel positive about this. I mean, he's been alive in the nest of the Azlanti for the past 39 years. So, I think we should be fine.
He's definitely got gumption.
And we definitely have a good crew here, so I believe in them.
Well, it's good. Good to have you by my side again.
On not so on lighter news, I don't think that Rupert knows that the Veskarium has lied with backwards.
Well, I mean, it's little more than a glorified ceasefire, but we can get to that later.
So in the back, Oren will kind of nudge Fel with his elbow. How you holding up, buddy?
Man, I'm ready to be off this fucking rock, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, you and me both.
Like, all this
It's getting kind of weird.
Look, all this shit's really cool, but, like, I don't know it. I just hope for Mike's sake we can get his dad out of here, you know?
Yeah, I do too, but listen, between you and me, that asshole Zolan's gotta go down before we finish this mission.
Yeah.
For Sedona.
You know what, you're not wrong, but I'm more worried about getting all of us off this rock alive than I am worried about doing anything with him.
I just want to kill him, man. Just want to kill him real bad.
Just kill him good.
Real bad, huh?
It's about killing.
Real good.
Okay. Well, you guys kind of have. Is there any other?
If it's cool, Ziva
Yeah.
would like to talk to Rupert a little bit.
Okay.
So she's kind of like keeping an eye out as we're walking. But being in the middle, she feels a little safer than on either end. And she just kind of like will look up to Rupert. She's kind of walking next to him. She says, so, Rupert, is this alright if I call you by Rupert? Mr. Agama-san, which is your preferred?
It's Dr. Agama-san.
Call me Papa Gama-san.
Hey, chill out, old man.
No. Call it.
Wait.
Rupert is fine.
Rupert, well, we had a little bit of time. I just wanted to say that I know you have not seen Mikael in a while, but you did a wonderful job in the little time that you did have with him. He's a fantastic man, and I'm glad to have him by my side.
He looks at you kind of funny for a second, and then after a moment he says,
Well, I can't take credit for who Mike has become, but I do take great pride. I wish I had been there to impart more knowledge on him, but it seems that he has become the type of Vesk that I wanted him to. I don't know him, but to see him surrounded by such a group of people such as you and your companions here to stop such a terrible empire. We had always hoped to raise him as a Vesk who doesn't see conquest as his only goal in life. It's good to see him on the side of the little guy.
Yes, he's certainly not one for conquest, but he's an absolute winner. And you may not have had that much time with him, but you certainly had an amazing influence. He's quite the master crafter. He built that armor he's wearing.
I will say his armor looks mighty fine.
And she just kind of laughs and looks at. She says, "I look forward to getting to know you a bit more, Rupert. On our way back home."
Emily, you just jinxed it. He's going to die now. Why would you do that?
Nope.
He's
No.
gonna
Why would
take
you
out
do
a
that?
picture of like
No, not gonna
tell you
happen.
about like his family
Oh.
plans that he's gonna do afterwards.
You know
future
what?
Plans.
Emily's never watched a movie, so she doesn't know that kills characters.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it.
Nope.
I'm gonna go find a nice place to settle down after all this.
I'll wait till
yeah.
Luckily, you're not
gonna
about to
retire.
retire or anything.
Yeah, I'm retired in 2 days.
Okay, so you guys...
Too old for this shit.
Yeah, right. So you guys are in the main lounge, and so you have all the scientists. There's Morgulbur, there's Irio, there's Rupert, Sedona, and the 5 of you, the Epic Tracer crew. What do you do now?
I want to go and talk with, like, just commune with all the scientists trying to gather all this information about the Rune Drive.
Yeah.
So, scientists, lend me your ears.
Yeah, the scientists all take off their ears and throw them at you, Men in Tight style. Yeah.
Yes.
No, they actually all do just like kind of shrug and point to Murglebur, like, go talk to her.
Fel's going to take the data pad with all of the combined information. For the first time, Murglebur will actually be able to see and possibly link some stuff together. So share it with her.
Yes.
So yeah, Fel and Zeno kind of step up to Murglebur, and she takes the data pad from you and starts looking over it. Zeno, or the two of you, are kind of looking over her shoulder at it, and she says,
"Well, I am afraid that there's one last task we must do. We must go to the Rune Drive and upload this information into the computer console there, so we can get a better understanding of what all of this information means. I cannot thank you enough for collecting this data and giving us the opportunity of a discovery of a lifetime."
Now, sense motive?
"Sure."
Oh boy, I rolled a 1, so that's a 7. I think she's great.
You're just so entranced by her voice that you're not even sensing any motive. You're just loving her rich musical diction.
Yeah, her timbre. I'm not even going to
So
roll.
you're like, this is my kind of woman.
Why am I playing Fel? Now, Fel's just gonna say, all right, now Murglebur, just don't turn it on, okay? Please don't start this thing up, because if you do, all hell's gonna rain down on this rock.
Yes, I know. I will not activate it, but I want to apply this data to the Rune Drive itself.
All right, as long as it doesn't turn on.
Scientist, you stay here. You've never helped me much anyway.
My
That's
time.
Murglebur. That's a
Company.
burn.
Yeah, Rupert says,
All right, easy, Murglebur. Remember, kids, she doesn't really know how to talk to people very well.
I thought it was
She doesn't mean anything by it. Murglebur, I'll stay here with the scientist. You take, whoever wants to go with you. I'll make sure that they're protected here. Irio, you with me, right? Michael, would you like to be with me as well?
You know it. He says quite nervously, like, what? What?
Papa?
But yeah, exactly.
Quick question.
yeah.
Would it be possible or smart to just go ahead and send any non-essential personnel up to the tracer?
I mean, Evandrian is still on the loose.
Oh yeah, there's that guy.
And
Yup.
Zolan could be back at any moment.
Yeah.
So,
Which is why I was like, if we could just go ahead and get as many, bodies. But no, yeah, we have.
No, I mean, look,
that's a good question.
You're not thinking about the fact, though, that our party size just increased to like 20. Action economy is going to be on our side,
This is true.
Yes, keep around these meat shields. I
Yeah.
mean, scientists.
Yeah, I will throw every scientist in this party in front of my dad to keep him alive. I don't give a shit.
Even
Yeah, but
Steve
he won't.
Larynx?
Just for even
Yeah.
Steve Larynx.
I've
First
got
one to go.
It's like, look, I got what I needed from Steve Larynx, all right?
The tech doesn't stop working just cause he dies.
Who's going to go with Murglebur and who's going to stay behind?
Adam, are you trying to split the party
Sounds
right
like
now?
I'm just saying that's what is going on.
I
Wait.
am going to
I'm just
accompany.
saying you don't have a choice.
I feel like all of us would go to the Rune Drive.
I feel like maybe Sedona should stay.
I mean, Sedona's going to stay. I would imagine Mike would stay to fight with Rupert,
I mean, Fel's gonna go with
He
Murglebur.
said multiple times, I don't give a fuck about the Rune Drive.
Yep.
All I care about is my daddy.
Yep.
That's true. I'll take the bait, man. Sure.
If that's the case, I'm going to go approach Michael and say, well, it looks our paths are diverging, but we will meet on the Epic Tracer. But
well, no, let me make sure that you guys understand that the plan is to go figure out the Rune Drive, either destroy it or collect it, and come back here, and you guys go as a group off the planet.
Yeah.
Right,
or off the asteroid. Yeah.
But they're going to be going over. They're going to be heading over.
They're holding
to the ship
down right here.
I'm sorry. Yeah. I got it conflated with Emily's whole. Okay, gotcha. All right. Yes.
Blame Emily for your misunderstering. I see how it is.
I was going to let that slide. I was like, okay, just fuck me. I got it.
So we're just securing the room.
You're just making sure that the scientists aren't left
Okay, I'm just bodyguarding 15 people.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Your baby.
I guess the rest of us will go.
So everybody but Mike is gonna go with Murgleburr.
Yeah.
I mean, Fell definitely
I'm definitely going Murgleburr.
Yeah, it makes sense for Xena to go.
Look, it's fine. I am a professional bodyguard.
Sedona's gonna stay with Mike.
No, we're worried about us, dog. Who's going to take all those shots for us?
I'm more worried about those.
You're going to have to learn how to adapt.
No, I'm more worried about everybody staying up here and having Evandrian come in and try and wreck them all while we're split.
That's what I'm concerned about.
I will fuck Evandrian.
So y'all need to make a decision. Who's going with Murgleburr?
Fell's going.
Let's go
We
around the
already
table.
said who's going,
No, you
man.
guys have talked back and forth several times. Emily, are you staying or going?
Ziva's gonna stay.
Ziva's gonna stay. All right, Fell, are you staying or going?
Fell's going.
All right, Oren's
going.
Oren's going. All right, Zeno, you're going for sure, right?
No, definitely.
All right.
Yep. Ziva was about blowing that bitch up from the front.
Mike,
you know.
You're staying, right?
I'm staying with my dad.
Okay. So we've got the scientist, and then we've got Sedona, Mike, Rupert, Ziva, and Irio in the lounge. And then going back to the Rune Drive, we have Murgleburr, we have Fell, we have Zeno, and we have Oren.
And can Ziva move up to the hall to keep an eye on the intersection of the lounge? Okay, that's where Ziva is.
So I mean, the whole time we're going back up through the elevators and through the corridors again, and all that stuff. Because we got to go back up.
Yeah, you gotta go back
or
up,
down
across,
the elevator,
back down.
Yeah. Okay.
Did you have something there?
Go. No, I don't have anything. No, I was
the
just
whole
making
time.
Sure.
Okay. All right. Well, so you guys arrive at the containment vessel for the Rune Drive. So it's this big thing encrusted with Aeon stone, and there's the cube, the Rune Drive cube, 3x3 in the middle of it. You approach the console, and Murgleburr looks between Fell and Zeno and says has the data pad in her hand. She says,
"All right, I'm going to try to make this work."
And she uploads the information, and she kind of like wobbles over there and looks over the console, and
No, this isn't making any sense to me. I don't understand.
What do you mean?
This should be everything. This should be the information that I need. It still doesn't make any sense.
and she like pounds the console with one of her little
Murgleburr,
tentacles
stop.
in frustration.
Stop.
Tell us what's wrong.
Just calm down and talk to
This
us.
doesn't make any sense. There's something missing. I don't understand.
Like,
I bet Zolan knows.
like what? What's missing? I know you said you don't know what's missing. Do you know what's missing? What do we need?
I just said that I don't know what's missing. Please stop
Unknown,
making me
unknown,
feel
Phil.
worse about it. I thought that
There are
I would
things
have
that
all
you
the
know.
answers.
that you don't know, and things that you don't know that you don't know.
There are
you
known
were
unknowns and
scientists.
unknown unknowns.
Your platitudes are not helping, Mr. Oren.
Murgleburr.
Please, if you have any viable information, now is the time to contribute.
All right, here's the plan. Just blow the thing to hell.
No.
And then let's get the hell out of here.
Just grab it. It's
Absolutely
small
not.
enough we can just take it, throw it on the trace, and study it later if we need to.
You want to touch it?
I have to agree with Fel on this.
Quick question, just as an aside, this thing is currently encased in hundreds of thousands of bits of
Aeon Stone.
Credits of
Aeon stones.
Is there an access panel? A
crush
a way to get to it from where we are?
I mean, there's so all the information is now been uploaded to the console.
Mm-hmm.
Let me take a look at that information.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that Zeno, you are feeling this very strong pull to the Rune Drive, right? I mean, you just touching it before recharged a spell slot for you, right?
Right.
There's something there, right? So you come and you take a look at the information.
There be any kind of physical science check?
No,
or anything?
so no check required.
All right.
So Zeno steps up to the console. After compiling all the data into the Rune Drive's control harness, the computer console shines with an almost expectant glow. Zeno, as you look over all the information, the truth of the Rune Drive begins to reveal itself to you. The years you have spent studying faster-than-light technology, the drift, and possible alternatives to it seem to wash over you in a rush of discovery and understanding. You can determine that yes, indeed, activating the Rune Drive, that the powerful and unique Aeon Stone connected to the Aeon Throne will begin to act like a powerful drift beacon. The connection would also likely make it possible for the Azlanti to control the Rune Drive remotely from New Thespera. You are taken back in your mind to all your years of study, and I imagine some frustration may creep into your mind a bit. Here is the magical version of the drift beacon that you have been studying and hoping to achieve. And the secret to its operation? An Aeon Stone that only comes from the deep center of Azlanti star space. You had been using your nanobots, the very ones that you got from the drift being in that encounter so long ago, but their magic hadn't been enough. You were missing the power of the Aeon Stones. More information begins to click in your mind as you process this data. In simple terms, the Rune Drive operates by rewriting the underlying code of the universe in a localized area, altering reality around a starship equipped with the drive. The various planes can ripple upon themselves, creating an effect of bringing far locations closer together on one of these folds of space and time. Such a vessel could, in theory, travel almost instantaneously from Aurelos to Absalom Station by manipulating the nature and space-time coordinates of the universe itself and an area surrounding the ship. It is unclear how this would affect any living creature on board that ship, but there is no data that the ancient Azlanti who used it suffered any ill effects. Unfortunately, due to a slight miscalculation on their astrogation, the original pilots of the Royal Venture crash-landed on Nakandis all those centuries ago. Yes, you can see it all now, how all the information comes together. The Power Dynamics Lab and its study of containing the energy and how to release it. The Bend Travel Lab and the revelation that bending planes can result in teleportive effects. The Field Stability Lab, the results of those who actually use the Rune Drive. Roll an engineering check. Fel, you can aid with engineering, and Orin, you can aid with mysticism.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, I default aid with a plus 16, so.
Okay, so that's plus
Yeah.
2.
Yeah, I mean, I'm good.
Okay, so that's plus 4.
Okay, I got a 30.
Okay. Calculations begin firing in your head. You think back to your own attempts at a drift beacon and its failure, and a radical idea begins to form in your head. What was it that happened with yours? Oh yes, You overloaded it with your nanobots and sent a reverse signal that rippled out through cosmos and time. Yes, this idea just might work. But the tricky bit will be convincing the crew. You must hook up the Rune Drive to the Epic Tracer.
Amazing. I can't believe it. Mergaba, you were right in your studies. Of course it doesn't make any sense, but my studies, throughout these long years, I think I understand. It has more close ties to the Azlanti than you would imagine. But I believe we can get this to work, but...
What is the secret? What is missing? What do you see that I cannot?
What's missing is me.
Damn.
I love it. So we cut back to the lounge. You guys are all sitting there. I imagine it's a little tense in the room as you're waiting to hear back from the rest of the crew. And what are you guys kind of doing in there? Are you guys just being silent, or is there conversations going there?
I mean, I think, for one, we've got Ziva kind of working as our scout, you know, spotting ahead. So that's good. But me and Sedona, I mean, just as the map is now, are directly in the doorway. So if my thought was if Homeboy tried to sneak in invisible, like, he's going to have to bump into one of us. Mm-hmm. But I imagine in the intervening time, Mike hasn't spoken with Sedona much in this whole adventure because, you know, 88% of her time she's been in a seizure. But he would, you know, as we're kind of waiting, both guns drawn, just, you know, waiting for something to kick off or to get word back, he would kind of check in with her. Like, Sedona, you holding up all right?
Yeah, I mean, she looks to you and you can see her jaws clenched and she says, "Yes, Michael, I am fine. We must destroy that man. We must. Promise me that we will do everything we can to end the life of the Saudat. I know that this goes against everything that I've spoken to before about managing your anger and managing your temper, but this man does not deserve to live."
Well, you want to take this dog off the leash, then I can do that.
She like grabs you by the arm, says, "Remember the bookie at the Click Clack Club, Michael. I want that ferocity."
You got some whiskey?
She reaches in her bag. Yep.
Yes, I do.
And she actually, like, you know, gives you a flask. She, like, takes a pull and then hands it to you.
Yeah, and I take a pull, and then I turn. Standing behind her is my dad, and I'm, like, motion to him, like, you want a shot?
He, like, reaches out to take it, and as that happens, all of a sudden, all the lights go out.
Motherfucker.
In, like, across the whole place.
Oh, shit.
And you hear over the intercom, "Imminent arrival of the Saudat's ship. Incoming. 5 minutes until arrival. And we'll see you."
Oh,
Damn.
Oh boy. There it is.
Oh boy. Ziva pulls out her trident.
Yeah, you definitely should.
I do that. Oh god, we gotta fucking go. We'll see Aurelos.
I mean, not really. Like, we gonna kill him anyways.
This episode has been sponsored by Roll20. This is how we roll.